One of C heavyweight contender Odie Delaney. How you doing, man? Welcome back.
Good. I'm doing well, brother. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, like it's been a long time, and I just want to say welcome back and thanks for taking the time, man. I understand you're in Mississippi, so I had the understanding you were in Florida. So
Yeah, no problem at all, buddy.
yeah, what are you doing in Mississippi?
I came back down here to train with Alan Belcher. I kind of float between all the American top teams in the Southeast. And yeah, I'm getting some kind of mid-range striking work with Alan Belcher, who's tearing it up in bare knuckle right now. So
Yeah, yeah. Was that kind of like a plan of yours, or did it translate from some of the fights that you were in? What prompted that decision?
um really it's just working weaknesses. I feel like I got the long range figured out pretty well with my last fight. And I kind of want to get more comfortable in the mid range. When I'm close to a guy, I know I'm going to take him down, but it's getting in there safely that I'm kind of worried about. So I'm using Alan's knowledge base to kind of get there.
Yeah, yeah. Besides the obviously the training and working on the striking, what's new? I mean, you've had a couple fights in the past couple months. What are
Yeah.
you up to now?
Yeah, just training, getting ready for the next one. We're ready to go. I'm going hunting up in Alaska with my dad. We go moose hunting and bear hunting every year here in September. So hopefully, right when I get back from that, early October, we can get something on the books and yeah, get right back to it. But yeah, just in the meantime, just training my tail off every day.
Well, let's just say, like hypothetically speaking, you're in the middle of a hunt and one FC calls you. Are you gonna take that call, or are you gonna put them on hold?
No, I'm taking the call. My dad will understand.
For sure, for sure. You're obviously a family man. How's your family and how's everyone doing? They're doing okay?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking. No, yeah, everyone's doing really well. My little boy Junior is growing like a weed. He's 4 year old, but he's taller than most 7 year olds. And then my little girl, she's 9 months old, and she's just a little ball of sunshine. So no, everything's going really well. Wife's well. Yeah, we're settling down here in Mississippi. We'll be here for the foreseeable future, probably the next year or so. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Awesome. Now, did you have a chance to watch the fights past Saturday?
Oh yeah, yeah, I got to
And
watch.
yeah, and what was your thoughts? I mean, a lot of people were stunned.
Oh my gosh, yeah. You know, I think Usman had controlled that fight for up until I think 50 seconds left in the entire match. And then, not taking anything away from Leon, that was set up. It wasn't a fluke. I don't like a lot of people are kind of saying it was like a Hail Mary and it was kind of a fluke. That's not really how it works. At the end of the day, he got his hand raised with a totally legitimate technique that he set up perfectly. So I'm looking forward to the rematch.
Yeah, there has to be a rematch. I That's something I'm discussing with one of my journalists tonight. Is like I think that there needs to be that rematch. Obviously, I think a lot of people view that fight like, yeah, Leon kind of got controlled the whole fight, and he set up a really good kick, but a lot of people weren't happy with his post-fight speech because he came off very almost like I knew I was going to win that fight when you're going to your corner and
Yeah.
you're kind of having your head down, not knowing that you're not winning the fight. It's
Uh, I think he's got to do that a little bit, right? I mean, he can't get into the post fight conference, yeah, post fight conference and be totally honest there, because I mean, he's selling himself, he's selling their rematch, So I think a little bit of that is gamesmanship, I think it's kind of required, but no, I think he's being smart with his career.
But with that rematch, do you feel like that's going to affect a lot of things with Kamaru Usman, or do you feel like it might go the same way and Usman's got to get that belt back?
I think Usman's going to get the gold back 100%. I think that this time he's probably going to look to finish him a little bit quicker. Not that he wasn't trying to finish him in this fight, but I feel like he kind of relies on that control for, he kind of lets fights drag out to, the 5 rounds. I don't think he'll do that this time. I think he's going to do everything he can to kind of get him in a wrestling ride and finish him out with ground and pound. So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, now if my memory serves me, I don't know if it's accurate, but Amanda Nunes is no longer at ATT.
Um, I don't think she is. I think she kind of started her own thing, did her own gym. I think that's kind of normal for her. I think every time she takes a loss, or something goes kind of weird in her career, she kind of changes gyms. So yeah, I know I'm not very surprised about that.
Well, since she hasn't, did you get a chance to watch her fight as well? And did you know that she was going to get that belt back?
Yeah, I think people like Usman and Amanda, they've got that championship mindset. I don't think that a loss affects them the same way it affects everybody else. I think that they just come back meaner and hungrier and they just sharpen up, and the reason they're at the position they are in the first place is because they learn from both their victories and their defeats, and that's why they're there. So yeah, I kind of knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, and another name that's kind of out there, Kayla Harrison. I mean, she's over there at ATT, and I mean,
Yeah.
like, what do you think about her career? I mean, like, just what she's done. It's incredible.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's gonna touch her for a while. I mean, she's just so dominant. Her judo's so many levels ahead of all these other girls. Her wrestling, she's down there with Steve Mako, sharpening up her wrestling game constantly. She's got Mike Brown that's sharpening up her striking game, combining it with her grappling game. And she's just so physical and mentally tough and kind of mean, man. She's got that violence in her. I don't know. I don't see anybody out there right now where I'm thinking, oh, that this person, might have the best chance. So we'll see what happens. I mean, honestly, it's kind of better for the fans if someone does come around that can give her more of a challenge, because it gets a little boring when you have someone like her at the top that just isn't going to get moved, you know.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I want to talk about you here, though. Two finishes in the ONE FC. I mean, you're undefeated. Also in your amateur career as well, as we previously spoke last time in the interview.
Yeah.
I mean, like, where do you credit your success from?
Um, well, the wise people that are around me, telling me how I should handle my career. My management, AJ over at Epoch, has been instrumental. I think taking my time, being completely honest with myself. I think a lot of fighters, they kind of get caught up in their own hype and let their egos get a little bit too big too fast. I'm very honest with myself and my weaknesses every day in training. I kind of assess what I need to work on, and I really target those things with everything that I've got. And yeah, I'm not in a rush. That belt will be mine. The one championship belt will be mine, but it doesn't need to be tomorrow. Um, Once I close every piece of my any gaps in my fighting game up, yeah, it's just a matter of time, man. I'm methodical. I train like a madman. I don't think anyone trains like me. I study when I'm not training. I'm studying my opponents. I'm studying the game. So yeah, it's just an inevitability in my mind.
Well, and another thing I wanted to bring up, watching your last two fights, your last two finishes and submissions, I should say, hammerlock and a key lock. That's something I've never seen. I've never heard of that, and I know a lot about the game of MMA. So explain, like, are those techniques that you train quite frequently, or is that just something that worked in the fight?
No, those are things I train quite frequently. So what I've done is I've taken my strengths in folk style wrestling were definitely in the riding component. I was able to get my opponents on the ground and I could keep them there for a very long time. And when I met Mike Sanford, my jiu-jitsu coach, he didn't really take away my wrestling. You go into a lot of jiu-jitsu gyms and they want you to just throw the wrestling away and here, learn jiu-jitsu. This is how we grapple. Mike didn't do that. He kept all my strengths from jiu-jitsu and then just kind of sprinkled on the submissions on positions that I already were dominating all the time. So, that Oki ride, that wrist ride with the leg thread, that's something I would do in wrestling all the time and get near fall points. And, he would just show me, hey, here's this hammer lock. You can develop this hammer lock from here. That cross body ride where I isolate the arm on the far side. I did that all the time in wrestling. And now I've got a Kimura, a straight arm bar, and an Americana all on that side, just, one after the other. So yeah, I've just kind of I'm definitely a position over submission type of guy. I lock you into a position you can't get out of, and then yeah, the submission's inevitable as well. So
Well, we typically don't see a lot of heavyweights performing a lot of submissions. So how does it feel to kind of have that bit of that threat on the ground that maybe not many heavyweights do have defense for?
yeah, I think me and Buchecha kind of have this going for us. You know, if we get you on the ground, you're pretty much done. In my mind, I think that's kind of the skill level we're at, and I think that makes our striking more dangerous. Uh, when people are so worried about the takedown and so worried about going to the ground, it kind of shuts down a lot of their striking game because they have to be careful. They have to wait. When's that shot coming? They don't know. And if they can't defend it, that round or maybe that fight's done. So yeah, I think it helps me a lot to have that tool in my back pocket. But I'm looking to develop everywhere. I want to be lethal on my feet and on the ground and on the wall everywhere. So yeah, that's what I'm working towards.
And in fighting at this weight class, what are things that you do to kind of work on the cardio and work on your longevity?
Yeah, longevity. I'm really careful about the head damage I take. The style of fighter that I am, I'm not the kind of guy that's going to go 50-50 and just trade blows. Um, Especially in training as well. I'm kind of conscious about how much head damage I'm taking. Because at heavyweight, it doesn't take very many to really rock you. As far as cardio, man, I don't want to give away my secrets, but I do my cardio like I'm a 125 pounder. I mean, I think a lot of heavyweights use their mass and their size as an excuse to be lazy and to work not as hard, and they're just not as in the gym as often as the little guys. I've completely thrown that mentality away a long time ago. I train just as hard as the smallest guy in there, and I run just as far. I do all the same cardio. Still a big guy, but I can do all that. So that's kind of my secret to that.
Well, it would appear like guys like yourself and a lot of these up and coming guys, a lot of these guys have made names for themselves, like Cyril Gahn. A lot of these guys, it would appear that it seems like the new generation of the heavyweights are the guys that are moving like middleweights. It
Yeah.
would appear that is the new standard to be successful in MMA. Do you hold true to that?
Yeah, I think you're seeing that in college wrestling too. Like from my sport, that in the NCAA, you're seeing guys instead of pushing that 265 and chubby, they're like 245 and wicked fast with cardio for days. And I think that's kind of happening in the heavyweight division as well. People are kind of finding that balance. Now you do have guys that are 265 and solid muscle with no fat on them, then lucky them. But yeah, I think the era of the sloppy heavyweight is kind of coming to a close.
Yeah, and I think part of that is the problem is a lot of those guys are starting to find that the competition is getting so much harder, and you have to have that kind of cardio. You can't get away with being just built like a brick house and just
Right.
throw everything but the kitchen sink, and it's gonna work for you.
That's right. Yeah, you gotta be well rounded nowadays. The competition's heating up. There's a lot more heavyweights getting into this game. A lot more kind of high level athletes. You see guys coming over from football all the time now. So yeah, you're gonna have to evolve or you're gonna die. So
So for yourself, you're fighting for one championship. So after your fights, do you still? How do you like Singapore? Do you stay? How long do you normally stay for?
yeah, I've got to visit quite a bit actually, and I love it, man. That city is insane. I mean, it's massive, but it's clean. You don't see graffiti,
Uh,
you don't see trash anywhere. It's like really well policed. So I enjoyed it. I can't wait to bring my family. I really liked it.
it seems like a very unusual place to go to. It seems a bit of a hidden gem in all of Asia.
Yeah, I think so. Well, it's kind of a hub over there. I mean, that's kind of where everyone flies in, when you want to go to Australia or Japan. It's kind of like the little hub, South Korea. So it's a really cool town, man. They got Universal Studios there. They've got a island that's an entire beach all the way around it, artificial. I mean, it's kind of incredible. I haven't even got to explore all of it yet, but I'm excited to.
No, I know that you live in Florida, but that being said, when you're gonna go fight in Singapore, do you have to leave for a certain amount of time? Is there any like sort of altitude, any like anything that will affect you?
Altitude's not a problem. It's pretty much sea level. It is a port town, but one thing is just the time difference. I mean, I am literally on the other side of the planet, literally. So I've been going about a week early. I think I'm going to extend that probably to 2 weeks if I can, just because you're not really acclimated to the time change yet. I'm like awake all night and sleeping all day. It's kind of weird, So I think I'm going to go a couple weeks earlier and let myself adjust.
Yeah, yeah. And then speaking about One FC, how do you like what they're doing with all the Muay Thai and all the tournaments that they're doing? I mean, the strides that they're making in the sport of MMA is incredible.
Yeah, I really like their business model. I really do. I like that anybody can watch it. I like that it's on Amazon Prime now. So, I mean, everybody has Amazon Prime, so it's easy to watch. My family can watch it. They're doing fights that are going to be shown over here in the United States during prime time. We're going to be fighting in the morning over there. So that'll make it easier for people to watch the fights over here in the US. But yeah, they're being creative with how they're you got presenting martial arts. I like they got the jiu-jitsu going on. We just watched Mikey Musanetti. Is that how you say his name? Man, he's a savage. Yeah, man, I love what they're doing, and I like that they keep it classy. Some of the things with the UFC that I don't like that seem to be kind of like encouraged is the trash talk that goes beyond like I'm going to beat you up. Yeah, I'm a better fighter than you. Like bringing personal things into it and whatnot. I think that one championship has kind of maintained the honor of martial arts that I kind of grew up with, and yeah, I really like them for that.
Yeah, and when prior to when you signed with the One FC, did you have any other offers from other promotions?
Yeah, we were talking to the PFL. I was talking to Bellator. But I mean, if I'm being honest, I kind of from the outset, when I decided I was going to do this full time and be an MMA fighter, I kind of gravitated towards one championship. A lot of that is because of the alignment of our values. And it's really so far has worked out. They've been super supportive of me getting my message out there, my mental health message, my anti-suicide message. There are some things in the works in the background that are going to be announced soon that yeah, I mean they're just there for me, man. They're helping me. So like I said, I think that's when you can kind of work for an organization that holds your same values, that's where you're going to thrive. That's where you're going to be happiest. Because for me, it's more about money, and they seem to understand that.
And that being said, I saw the post that they made about you with yourself and mental health and whatnot. And you use the training in MMA as almost like therapy.
Yeah.
When obviously down the road when you do retire eventually, is that something that you will want to continue to do on the side?
Yeah, I think what that's going to look like is when I'm done, when my body can't do MMA anymore, I'm going to do jujitsu until the day I die. I mean, my plan is to die on a wrestling mat. So yeah, I'll do that forever. I don't think I have the mind that can handle not competing, if that makes sense. I need it. It's my medicine. So as long as my body can move, I'll be rolling around somewhere on a mat.
Well, and I think jiu-jitsu is a great sport because I mean, there's guys that you can do it at any age. It does not age. Sometimes it does not matter when it comes to jiu-jitsu. It really
That's
doesn't.
right. That's right. Yeah, I really like what the jiu-jitsu community has done, making divisions for older guys. I've got a friend, Dan Triplett, he's in his mid 50s, still going hard, man. Every tournament he can get to, he's there. So that's what I want to be, man. I want to be 75 and on the mat beating other old guys up.
I wanted to ask, did you get a chance to see Tom Hardy? He got to compete in a competition.
No, I didn't even see that. Yeah, how'd he do?
I'm not sure how well he did, but the picture I did see, he was standing at the top, so I believe he got first place, but I could be
Hey,
wrong.
okay, cool.
Like, what's your thoughts about all these celebrities? I mean, they are just people at the end of the day, but
Yeah.
these celebrities that are doing jujitsu and really bringing this sport to a mainstream level. I mean, even guys like Keanu Reeves, who has
Yep.
had to do jujitsu training to prepare for his roles. How do you feel? How much that does for the sport?
Oh, it's obviously amazing. I mean, I don't know if anyone, I don't know what the argument would be against it. I mean, this is a sport that I love that I think really helps people, especially like young men, young women. It teaches discipline. I could just go on for days. I could write a book about what martial arts will do for a human being when it's, applied correctly. So, when you got celebrities like, Hardy and Keanu Reeves getting in there, they're doing a world of good because they're attracting more people into that healthy space, that healthy sport, where people learn to be, strong but controlled. I think it's a great thing, man. I hope all of them do it.
Awesome. And yeah, and that being said, I just kind of want to close up quickly, but now I know you kind of talked about you're ready to go, you're getting the wheels turning, you want to get back in there. Has ONE FC kind of talked to you about maybe a possible time frame when they would like to have you back in?
Yeah, I think we're talking to them about October. So, yeah, I'll be more than ready. I think towards the end of October is what we're shooting for. So yeah, that's when I'll get back in there. And yeah, man, I'm excited. It's going to be fireworks because I mean, every week I'm just doubling myself as a fighter. So I think fans will have something to look forward to every time I get back in the cage because it's just going to look better and better and better until I take that belt.
Well, ladies and gents, tune in. This guy's going to be getting a fight soon.
Awesome.
But anyway, Odie, I don't want to take much more of your time. I know it's getting late towards the hour. So I just want to thank you again for taking your time. It's always a pleasure having you on here.
Thank you.
And good luck. And hopefully you'll get your fight soon. Let's have you back
Yeah.
on, okay?
Yeah, anytime, man. Yeah, I really like being on the show. So yeah, whether it's before the fight or right after, whatever, man. Let's get it done. Let's keep going.